Hi everyone, I've just got myself, Denise and Paul together because I wanted to share the story about how Back to Kindness came about. And it really goes back to, I lost my twin brother back in 2014. I wrote a book to share his life and my life and the troubles that we went through. When that book got published, I started to do a lot of talks in London around the book and everything else. And walking around London, we kept, you see homeless people. And this one day I saw this guy, no shoes, no socks. So I sat down with him, I gave him my book, started having a chat, and I said, look, do you need some clothes? And he said, yeah, I need some clothes. So I got back on the train, went back home, got some clothes, went back into London, I gave him some clothes. But then looking around, there was more homeless people. So at the time, I put this thing out on Facebook. I said, look, has anyone got any spare clothes? There's lots of people up in London that need clothes. And then it just went crazy. So I was inundated with messages of support. Loads of people came and donated. I got so many clothes that I had to get a van, a big white van, and we ended up putting all the bags and sleeping bags and everything in this big van. And then I got about 20 volunteers, and we went into London and we opened up the van, we distributed all of these clothes. And so it was an amazing event, and we helped a lot of homeless people. And then the following year, Denise Mortimer, who's an amazing business coach, by the way, she got in touch with me and she said, look, every year I help young people, and I heard what you done last year, and I'd like to get involved. So what was the conversation that we had?
Well, I always like to do something at Christmas, and I put on my social media. Social media is amazing, isn't it? I went on my social media and I said, I'd love to do something for homeless this year, and then Chris was tagged, and so I got in touch. I'd known him, but I didn't know him personally. So then we got in touch, and then we started we came up with the idea of having a day where we would gather a group of people together, and we would go and distribute some survival kits to those living rough. And so we began the quest to find a venue that could host us, which then brings us to how Mr. Paul Hayes got involved.
Well, I read your book and I started following you on your socials, and then one day it just popped up around sort of Christmas time that the thing that you've gone into town and the amazing work that you've done giving rucksacks away, and that you were looking for a venue, and you've been already told that.
So before Paul got in touch with us, and there's a little bit that we missed a little bit, in the conversation with Denise, because I said it was quite difficult to just give clothes out, because believe it or not, homeless people are quite fussy. And so then we decided, why don't we just put a survival pack together? And this is how the rucksack appeal started. This is where we got the idea from. Instead of giving out clothes, let's put what we can into a rucksack, add a sleeping bag, a pop-up tent, and it would be easier to distribute. Because I remember at the time, homeless people, they kept saying, have you got a bag? Have you got a bag? And of course, we didn't bring bags with us, we brought clothes with us. So that's how it started. But then we needed a name, and Denise, you came up with the name Back to Kindness. Let's do one act of kindness at Christmas and hope that's enough for a homeless person to want to get off the streets and stuff like that. But with the venue, we started hotels. We were bringing hotels. We thought a hotel would give us a room where we could all meet and collate all of the donations. But we tried hotels, we tried churches, we tried halls. Every single one of them. As soon as we mentioned homeless people, they said no, we don't want to associate with homeless people. And that's when I put it on Facebook, and that's when Paul, answered the call, and he said, look, I work at Ministry of Sound. Let me go and speak to Hector. Hector was, managing director or whatever. And so anyway, he had a word with Hector, and he said, and then Paul got in touch. He said, look, come and have a meeting at Ministry. And so the three of us, we met with Hector, and born was the Back to Kindness rucksack appeal in 2017, Christmas 2017, and it's been running ever since. So we're now 2023. This is our 7th year with Ministry, which we're so happy with, because they don't just give us the venue. They put on teas and coffees. Paul yourself, does food, because he does the catering here at Ministry. But they put on the venue and allow us to collate and sort all the stuff out, and they support us as we go around London and stuff like that. So as I said, thank you so much to Hector and all the management team and everyone associated with Ministry of Sound. But also, the biggest thank you is to all the volunteers. and not just the volunteers, but everyone that's ever made a donation over the last 7 years.
Yeah.
Like, you're the people that make it happen. Like, okay, we sort of, you know, encourage people to come along and try and support people doing it, but it's the volunteers and the donations which have made this every single year. And as I said, like, we're not perfect at what we do. It is a bit of chaos at the beginning, and
it's a grassroots
yeah.
expedition. It's a whole exercise rather than expedition. It's a grassroots exercise, and we get smarter every year. But it is a little bit chaotic. But like, the intention is all good. Anything that you do with good intention is always going to work out for the greatest good. You know, and everyone comes here with great intentions, and somehow it all works out, and we do get smarter and slicker every year as we go through.
And Denise really is the life and soul. You know, it's all going to be alright, it's all going to be alright, but literally Denise comes in and makes it all work. And the other thing is that after we've distributed around London, everyone comes back here. Paul does some food for all the volunteers. We share some of our stories, we sing Christmas carols, you know, and we give like lovely messages for everyone to go home with at Christmas. And it's not just an adult thing, like a lot of people bring their kids, their teenage kids come with them. It's a very grounding experience for anyone to experience this, because a lot of people want to help, but they just don't know how to help.
Yeah.
You know, we do a lot of safety information and that before people go out. We only go out in the daytime, we don't go down any dark alleys. So, you know, we try to keep it as safe as possible. We always ask permission to speak to a homeless person. We never just approach them, you know, without an invite. And it's really, ultimately, it's two things that we do. We distribute, we sit with homeless people, we listen to their stories, because that's one of the biggest things. But also through social media, we highlight the plight of homelessness, and really, like, it's the encouragement for people to go on and go and help another charity. You know, we support What's Up, which is Woolwich Service Users Project, so that's a local homeless charity that we support, but there's lots of homeless charities around London, around the UK, so it's just encouraging people just to continue that support, because these are people that, you know, it's almost like they've slipped through the system, you know, and the system's not working for them, so we've got to do our best to try and encourage them. And we've had some amazing stories, people coming off the streets, getting back into some sort of housing, some sort of employment or voluntary work. So this is, you know, ultimately, it's the encouragement for people to get well. So
I think also on the day, one of the things is that we also give out Christmas cards and just a little gift. It might just be a tiny box of chocolates or something, but you know, during the season of goodwill, some of the most vulnerable people get forgotten. So it literally is just a little act of kindness, and our whole intention is not about solving the homelessness problem. It's about people coming together as community and showing a little bit of care, a little bit of kindness. It's beautiful to see the children getting involved in things as well, and they love to do it. They really feel like they're, you know, making a difference somewhere, and you know, that's going to impact them for years to come as well, as they grow up and think about what else they can do to contribute to society.
Yeah, and that's thank you to Lisa Risby and Nightingale Primary School. They've been with us, Lisa's been with us from the beginning, and the school contributes every single year, and all the school kids come and they write these handwritten Christmas cards, and when we give it to the homeless person, that card, Christmas card, means more than the rucksack itself, because it means someone is thinking about them and someone cares. So you know, we've had some amazing, wonderful experiences. Some of it is tough. Like, you know, when you do get out, it's a very grounding experience. There's a lot of mental health, there's a lot of addiction, there's a lot of illness as well. You know, people just don't understand. So it's a very grounding experience, but, you know, if we don't do something, who will? And I know there's some amazing, you know, homeless charities and that out there, but there's still people rough on the street. And if there's still people rough on the street, then we will still continue to do what we're doing year on year, and hopefully with ministry as well. So I thought that was, just wanted to share this story with you all, just so that you understand the background of it, and as I said, the amazing Denise Mortimer, you know, Paul Hayes and everybody here at
He's amazing too.
Yeah. Alright, so thank you very much, and we'll see you all soon.
See you soon.
Bye.